Welcome to today's Explainer. You know, in the fast-paced hospitality world, most food and beverage owners don't actually have a data problem. What they have is a visibility problem. The data's all there, but it's completely hidden. So today, we're unpacking a really fascinating real-world case study from Dynamis Consulting. We're going to look at a fast-growing F&B brand that seemed to be doing everything perfectly right up until they deployed a new dashboard and discovered a massive, and I mean massive, financial blind spot.
Okay, let's dive into this. Negative $212,726. Just let that sink in for a second. That was the shocking reality facing this outwardly successful brand. I mean, from the outside looking in, this business looked like an absolute success story. But behind those kitchen doors, it was silently bleeding hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year.
It's that classic case of cognitive dissonance, and it's so incredibly common in the hospitality industry. Think about it. You've got busy dining rooms, a killer social media presence, and orders are just constantly pinging in from delivery platforms. You look around, see a packed house, and you naturally just assume your restaurant is thriving. But here's the thing. Feeling right and actually being profitable are two very different things. At least they are until you see the raw numbers.
On the surface, bringing in gross sales of over $700,000 sounds absolutely fantastic. But the moment the Dynamis Business Intelligence dashboard went live for this brand, the screen turned red. We're talking a massive negative net profit margin of over 37%. Instantly, in a matter of seconds, all those comfortable gut feelings were completely wiped out and replaced with real-time, undeniable truth.
And that red screen didn't just show a generic loss. It pinpointed three specific structural profit leaks. First up, the prime cost trap. Before paying a dime in rent or overhead, their total cost of goods sold plus labor was eating up 74.1% of their revenue. Profitability was literally structurally impossible. Second, food costs were dangerously high at 38%. And third, a hidden $11,600 waste leak, purely caused by cold chain gaps and poor expiry tracking.
The reality was stark, but eye-opening. The business wasn't necessarily underperforming when it came to drawing in customers, it was bleeding silently. It really proves that revenue alone is a highly dangerous metric. You can be busy every single night driving massive top-line sales and still be losing money if your operations are just leaking resources without you even knowing it.
Which brings us to the broader industry problem, the 5 hidden profit leaks plaguing F&B operators.
And this brilliantly illustrates our first major leak. Altogether, these silent leaks can cost a typical restaurant anywhere from 15 to 25% of their potential profit every single month. So, the first culprit? Unmanaged food waste. The data shows that 4 to 10% of purchased food is often thrown away before it even reaches a plate. That is actual cash going straight into the garbage due to spoilage or over-ordering, just draining your resources right out of the gate.
The second massive leak is labor inefficiency. Look, when you schedule shifts based on gut feel rather than live data, you inflate your costs by up to 15% of your total payroll. You're basically either overstaffed during dead hours, literally paying people to stand around, or you're understaffed during a sudden rush, which completely ruins the customer experience and leaves revenue sitting on the table.
Moving on to the third leak, inventory blind spots. When management relies on reactive purchasing and poor expiry tracking, overstocking just becomes standard practice. Ingredients just sit in the back, expire, and silently eat away at your weekly margins. You've essentially taken your hard-earned cash flow and locked it up in cardboard boxes that are just destined to go bad.
Fourth is a really sneaky one, menu underperformers. In most restaurants, a mere 20% of the menu items generate 80% of the revenue. The rest of them? They are just dragging down your operational resources. You might have what the industry calls dogs, dishes with low profit and low popularity. Or you might even have highly popular items that actually have terrible margins, punishing your bottom line every single time a customer orders them.
And finally, the fifth leak, supplier cost drift. If you're still sitting there reconciling invoices manually at the end of the month in Excel, subtle price fluctuations are going entirely unnoticed. A supplier bumps up the cost of a protein by just a few cents, your overall food cost percentages start to climb, and it absolutely crushes your margins over time without you ever seeing it coming.
So, back to our case study. How did they actually fix it? Well, once the Dunamis dashboard centralized their POS, delivery, inventory, and labor data, management didn't just sit around looking at reports, they acted. Within 48 hours, that dashboard became a real-time decision engine. They re-engineered menu items specifically for better margins, corrected those low-profit popular items, reduced their dependency on delivery channels, monetized their dead hours with targeted offers, and shifted completely to predictive purchasing. So, the crucial point is this massive psychological and operational shift. This is what every F&B owner needs. It's moving from operating completely blind, saying, well, I think we're doing well because we're super busy, to having full absolute control and being able to say, I know exactly where we are losing money and I know exactly how to fix it today.
Honestly, it's time to abandon the outdated manual methods. The old way is constantly looking backward. Manual end-of-month reports, inconsistent waste logs, and gut feel scheduling. By the time you get that data, the money is already long gone. The Dunamis way looks forward. You get live tracking of food costs, automated variance detection to catch those sneaky price hikes instantly, and demand-based scheduling that ensures you're only paying for the exact labor you actually need.
So, how do they actually implement this? Dunamis uses a really practical 4-step pipeline built specifically for F&B operations. Step 1, understand. They map all your POS, inventory, and supplier data. Step 2, organize, unifying all those scattered, siloed sources into one clean model. Step 3, build, engineering a live dashboard tuned directly to your specific KPIs. And Step 4, deliver, providing instant clarity and ongoing support. And incredibly, they can get you to that first major, actionable insight in as fast as 2 weeks.
With targeted tools like the Waste Intelligence module, you aren't just getting some vague total of your waste at the end of the week. Management can literally drill down into the exact items killing their margins. You instantly spot spoilage patterns, identify overordering by specific prep stations, and track prep loss shift by shift. You are essentially watching the leaks get plugged in real time.
And these aren't just pretty charts to look at. They deliver hard financial results. By having these targeted insights, clients typically see an average food waste reduction of up to 30%. And when you address all 5 of the profit leaks we discussed, that leads to an overall cost reduction of 10 to 20% in just 3 to 6 months. That is real money going straight back to your bottom line.
Which brings me to a very direct question for you to consider right now. Are you running your restaurant on spreadsheets and instinct? Have you ever stood in the middle of a packed dining room, watched the plates flying out of the kitchen, and thought to yourself, man, with all this volume, we really should be making a lot more money than this? Well, the truth is, you are probably absolutely right. You just haven't had the visibility to see exactly why yet.
It is time to stop guessing and start profiting. You need to uncover those hidden profit leaks and gain full operational visibility. If you're ready to turn your raw data into immediate action, DM us or leave a comment below to schedule a free live diagnostic strategy session with Dunamis Consulting today. I'll leave you with this final thought. If an outwardly successful business can silently bleed 20% of its potential profit, how many more months can you afford to operate in the dark?